Hold there, Violet. The Yorkie of the Shire stands before thee, asking art thou friend or foe? If thou art friend, then join me now as we return to Glorian. More Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Outside the law is the run. There may only be one to lead them. I follow no law. If thou art foe, then disappear thee back to the world wound. I shall deal with thee later. Right now, maintain a somber mood, for this is a funeral. We've been invited by Sosiel, a new follower. An elderly man limps towards a grave and clumsily throws a handful of soil inside. How unfair, they were all so young. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They sacrificed themselves, and an old cripple like me still lives. An elderly woman with her face bathed in tears steps up to the grave. She whispers the painting. It burned like everything else in the house. There is nothing left for me to remember you by. Nothing. A young man throws a handful of soil into an open grave and stands beside it for a while, lost in thought. Finally he sighs and steps back. Sosiel throws a handful of soil into the grave in front of him. He takes a breath and prepares to speak. But it seems that he simply cannot find the right words. The cleric wipes his tear-filled eyes, gathers his resolve, and says in a gentle voice, I wish you a warm welcome in Shelling's realm. We will win this war, I swear to you. We'll banish this ugliness and evil, make the world a richer, and let peace blossom in it. We'll make sure anything like this... He breaks into sobs mid-sentence, then falls silent without finishing the declaration. I am not going to use chaotic or evil options. They're not chaotic or evil, they're infantile. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Sosiel is too absorbed in his grief to hear you, but the other mourners nod in approval, wiping their teary eyes. They were good people. I can't believe they're gone. What is that? An elven woman shrieks in horror, disrupting the atmosphere of silent mourning. Her trembling hand points at something moving inside a grave. Suddenly a corpse climbs out of the ground, wafting a horrible stench from its rotting body. The zombie, run! Foul manner of betrayal is this? Who has turned our dead into zombies? They shall pay. They shall pay with their lives.
Time to rob them of their treasures.
I think for now we could go to the acid.
I got this.
Zombie Lord. Reach. Clouded sky.
Don't hold back.
Black Agnes, why don't you carve them up? So they are. I am Ser Elan. I shall mount up. But it is worth noting that my ability to use fear will not work here.
Die! Let's hear you cry!
With a heavy heart, Sosiel looks at the corpses of his friends, returned to rest by his own hand. What is this twist and mockery? Who could possibly... Wait, what's this? He bends down and recovers something from the ground. Take a look at this. Sosiel hands off a black onyx gem to you. Once precious, this stone is now covered in cracks, falling apart in your grip as you examine the engraved Minotaur's head. The unholy symbol of Baphomet. The cleric's voice, perplexed at first, fills with rage as he speaks. Cultists. Simply murdering my friends was not enough for them. No, they had to come to a funeral to desecrate their graves. They'll pay for everything they've done when we find them. You're right, they can't be far. Can't allow them to torture anyone else this way. Wait, the townspeople fled to the undead, without knowing they have a traitor among them. Well, wherever they are, they're in great danger. We must find them. Firstly, Sosiel,
suffered enough.
why don't you do some healing? Somebody's trapped in there?
I'm the best.
The half-rotten corpse of a woman shambles out of the crypt. She leers at you with the empty eye sockets and croaks out a few words. Thank the gods and thank you too. I knew this was going to happen someday. They buried me alive. Well, not sure you're alive. It's Brigitty, but actually dead. How dare you? What sort of foolishness? Do I look like a corpse to you? Yes. No, you forget yourself. You should be ashamed to say such thing to her. The dead Baroness wags a finger at you in a chastising manner, but cuts herself short, staring at her own hand in horror. What? How? This simply cannot be. I shan't permit it. Good luck with that one. I'm afraid it's true. I'm truly sorry this graveyard was desecrated by a necromancer. It seems that he disturbed your rest as well. The dead woman covers her face with what remains of her decaying hands. So I died, but even in death the accursed servants of the abyss torment me. Can nothing be done? Perhaps you could lay me to rest. I quite enjoyed my life in this world, but now there is no place for me here. Not in this miserable form. Rest in peace, then. Thank you. Do feel free to take my buried jewellery? Of course I will. How could I not? We got a golden chain with diamonds. It's probably just a regular golden chain. It's not even there. Ah. Yeah, just sell it to a merchant. Little bit of gold. Nope, didn't mean to do that.
Move out. Run them through.
Stab their back. They dare threaten me? Feel that?
It's simply overwhelming force. Wait, looks like they're waiting for us. Watch, that said it could be more dangerous. A whole squad of undead guarding the door. Maybe we should look for another entrance. We can do that. Not a bad idea. I'm sure we can climb this scaffolding.
Head off. Here comes trouble. Out of my way.
I'll loot your corpse.
More gold, etc.
I lead. You follow.
I'm not mad enough to do it. Did you see that?
Success.
Nice. So just more junk to sell.
I did it!
Who are you? What do you want? So this is the cultist, is it? All you have to do is die in the name of Baphomet. Have faith you can do it. I think not. Sosiel, don't be a fool. Don't go alone, Sosiel. You have friends here. Well, that was impressive. This is the end of your blasphemous magic. I won't let you harm the living or the dead anymore. You think I need your permission? Hey you, Bombag, stand up and kill. Couple of skeletons. And more from the back.
They should have known better.
Strike! Burn! Slice! Behead!
Die!
What was that?
Your death awaits.
Damn you!
Well, you're down.
Fall!
This is my chance to run.
You should have run. May I see your entrails?
Let's hear you cry!
Cover me. A terrible mistake.
Are you still here? I will bring down the divine wrath!
This will hurt.
I think we can just go to live mode. And so the end is reached. I surrender, stop, I give up, don't hit me. Young man in black robes throws up his hands in a dramatic gesture. You damn rat, how dare you! Suddenly Sosiel becomes a totally different person. The artist's delicate hands clench into fists, while his voice comes out as a menacing roar. He leaps at the necromancer and breaks his nose with a single blow. You scumbag, I remember you. You came to our temple begging for healing just a month ago. We fed you, we shared our table with you, and took you in. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with you. Stop it, I surrender your... Sosiel ignores the necromancer's cries of pain, punching him right in the teeth. The necromancer spits blood, but continues fighting past the wild blows, with his increasingly bruised and busted face. You're a priest of Ser Elan, I've surrendered. You have to spare my life, your goddess demands it. You two know each other? We do. That's Nati, a tailor's apprentice from Canabras. We healed him after he was mauled by a dog, then he became a frequent visitor to our temple. He listened attentively to our sermons, studied the goddess's teachings, and praised our art. Sosiel grits his teeth. You were lying to our faces the whole time. When we took you in, when you sat at our table, when we broke bread with you, were you planning to stab us in the back even then? The whole time. Now you understand part of it, let's dig into the rest. Cultist curves his bloodied lips into an evil sneer. I was hoping to lure you to our side. It wouldn't have been hard. We're everywhere, even inside you. I think you know it too. You are not like all those pious devotees. You pretended to be. Maybe you fooled yourself. But we both see who you really are. You have that same demonic rage inside you. It's a pity I never had time to kindle it into a devouring flame. But sometimes you have to resort to a backup plan. Having you die at the hands of your dead friends was such a good plan. It's pity it didn't work. Shut up, Sosiel swings his fist but stops in midair. His clenched fist trembles as he stares at the cultist with an expression of pure hatred. You want to kill me right now, don't you? But you can't. You're a good boy, Sosiel. You're so loyal to your goddess. You'll have to let me go or commit a sin. So I win either way. Witness the genius of our Lord Baphomet. Is he telling the truth? Your religion doesn't allow you to kill him. Yes, the Eternal Rose is known for her grace. She teaches us to show mercy to anyone who asks for it. One thing to slay an enemy in battle, but a captive? You must try to save their soul. Show them the beauty of the world. Persuade them to abandon the path of evil. It's difficult, but the world is far better for it. Just repeating your own sermons back at you. Come on, Sosiel, try to make me repent of my sins. Perhaps your kind words will make me abandon Baphomet's teachings, run to Ser Elan for redemption. I'll start knitting some masterpieces of my own. You really believe this scum deserves a chance at redemption? I don't know, may Ser Elan forgive me, but I have never had to struggle with this burden before. He looks at the cultist with visible disgust. I had no time to try healing the souls of villains. I was always preoccupied with healing the bodies of those hurt by them. The cleric looks up at the sky. Forgive me, Eternal Rose. You teach us to be merciful to our enemies and love them. But I am too weak, I am afraid. Grant me absolution from this sin. For this kind of love is beyond even me. Hit him some more, but be careful not to kill him. Ser Elan says nothing against kicking a few teeth in. Sosiel knocks the necromancer down to the ground. Enough. He's defeated and will disturb the dead no longer. Pummeling him further is not justice, only revenge. I had no idea there was so much rage in me. It's a shame, a disgrace. I must admit that I enjoyed beating him. Forgive me for letting you see me like this. Oh, you have not seen anything yet, Sosiel. It should never have happened. Sosiel wipes the necromancer's blood off his knuckles and steps away from him. You are the commander, and he's your captive. It's up to you to decide his fate. Then I condemn him to death. Sosiel, this is not your kill. This is mine. I am the commander. Step back. Oh, please listen, Sosiel bows his head. May the goddess forgive him, for I will not. He looks at you. Thank you for taking this sin upon yourself. I see no sin. Sosiel examines the devastated graveyard, then diverts his attention to the terrified townspeople. It's alright, you're safe now. We should bury the bodies again. This is a place of peace, and we must not let it be desecrated like this. The townsfolk are clearly terrified of even looking at the fallen undead, but Sosiel's soft words reassure them. As they work together, the graveyard soon regains its tranquil appearance. After a prayer, Sosiel bows his head before the graves of his friends the last time. May the Eternal Rose grant them peace at last. Let's be on our way. We have many more innocents to protect from the horrors of the war. So be it.
Onward!
Let us leave then. Now, before we go further, let us recruit who we can. And we shall go down to rest. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing motley crew, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. Good day afternoon, Commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theatre company. Oh lord, yes. The one you saved in Knabres, back when you weren't Commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come to the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend soldiers' clothes. Keeping up the theatre is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the horde of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. That's good. Luckily, we have Master Kim. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets, who ran away from a burned-out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbled softly. We put the piglets inside a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is like an approaching demon horde. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the Great Knight Commander. We had a right Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide, no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have two candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honour of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. To be played by a gnome? Not a gnome, two gnomes. Rumbledum and Harrypant are twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulders and puts on a long cloak so they can play a tall character. They switch places every so often, so each gets their moment of fame. And that way they each only have to learn half the script. A Cyclops actor? He's completely tame, believe me. He has a few issues with articulation. What a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show you mainly just make heroic exclamations at fateful moments, like onward and we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely manage the script. Alright, I've made my decision. I think the Cyclops. I like to think I'm larger than life. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots, then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. Right. Sell up some... Who's that talking to him? This. A messenger for the commander. A knight in simple armour, lowers his voice. I'm the Queen's bodyguard. She sent me to tell you that she arrived at camp incognito as planned. You can find her where the minor knightly orders are camped. If you wish to speak to her, tell her Majesty I'll come at once. First, though... I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she, and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself. I bet she's not part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and by sight. Wilson frowns gloomily, his cordiality gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. The quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was some sort of spy then? Entirely possible. Why don't you show me what you have? Before we go any further, Jeff, you need daggers, my friend. Also need to memorize some spells. Whoops. All of these spells. Anything you don't know, it's in your book. I thought I dropped something, maybe not. Not you. Ninio. You also need to get some spells memorized. Have none to memorize. Fine. Oh, before we go in, let's go to minor nightly orders and speak with our queen. Queen Galfrey nods to you cordially. Her armor is plain and unadorned. As promised, I entered the ranks incognito along with a few bodyguards. I have introduced myself as Kitrain, an old friend of yours. I'm a knight of minor order. Green crows. We shall see how long it takes Anibia to sniff me out. The Queen chuckles. Why did you decide to join the Crusades after all? So I have a curious mind and I'm unable to sit and do nothing for long. The Queen smiles but then grows serious. You ask a difficult question. I must remain as safe as possible. My death or abduction would sow chaos among forces. However, I am not only a queen, I am a paladin of Eomade. It is not in my nature to sit at the palace with my sword sheathed. That's an appropriate role for a leader, my friend. Good to have you in my army. In a manner of speaking, your request seems simply a convenient excuse for me to be where I belong, crusading against demon hordes. Besides, I'm curious to see my new commander in action. I have a question for you as well. Why did you wish me to join the crusade? Glad to have a glorious crusader queen at my side. Well, that's fair enough motive. The camaraderie of combat, fighting shoulder to shoulder for a warrior, such things are priceless. May I ask you a personal question? I've learned so much about Queen Galfrey from the chronicles and legends, but what about the other Queen Galfrey? The one that the historians and bards cannot see. The Queen smiles faintly. That Galfrey is an old woman, weighed down by a great burden, but she has not lost her passion, and she will make the feathers fly when the time comes. I look forward to working closely with you, and who knows, maybe feathers won't be the only things flying. Galfrey arches her brow. First you tried to kiss my hand, and now you lower yourself to clumsy innuendo. I'm beginning to understand what kind of person my knight commander truly is. You really think you're the first person to attempt to charm me with such words? I'll be the first one to win Dresden for you, or for us. You are not. If you want to impress me, you'll need to do better than that. So you've given me an army and the title Knight Commander. Why? Because for 100, we've already been through this. Why did you trust me with Darren? I thought such a wonderful opportunity to teach a Count a lesson and just couldn't resist. Honestly, I expected you to dismiss him forthwith. Count would have been forced to return to court a laughingstock. It would have been a truly sobering experience. There's nothing more disgraceful than a Mendevian noble than to be discharged like that. The Queen shakes her head. He was such a lovely child. His mother, Lady Selena, was one of the most gracious people I've ever met. He was amiable, yet decorous and truly kind. Bonds of kinship among the nobility are, on the whole, highly practical, and only useful for forming alliances. But Countess Arundel managed to become a true member of my family. I suppose that is why I spent so much time believing her son. to be a better person than he actually was. His company is a heavy burden, still. I must admit that I'm quite pleased that you decided to keep him as a companion. There's a small chance that once he has a true taste of the Crusade life, Count will finally cease to mock the Crusaders as cynically as he's wont to do. I'm not going to ask her what it feels like to be old. You've called it the sign they've been waiting for, but I take it you're reserving judgment? Your question seems to catch the Queen off balance. A strange spark flashed in her eyes. When Arundel perished, Demerde took over his legacy. I was among the first to serve the new goddess. I helped restore her church from the ashes left by the chaos after Arundel's death. Since then, I have served the inheritor loyally and truthfully. I like to believe that I have earned the blessing of my goddess. The Queen's voice is surprisingly ardent. After I learned of what happened in Canabres when I met you in the defense art, I had so many questions. Is it true what happened was Iomede's work? No. Why did she give this power to someone unknown, rather than one of her most loyal followers? Could it be that my faith has grown weak and I don't recognize the deeds of my goddess, even when they're happening right in front of me? Is the goddess somehow testing me? Those doubts were like poison. But I refuse to let them poison me. The Queen finishes strongly. I gave you an army, declared you Knight Commander, and accepted you, as I would anyone chosen by the goddess. I must go. Don't forget, here I am, K-Train, the Knight. $2,789. Have a quick rest, and then we shall go off on Sealer's quest.
Must be nice back home now. I bet my niece is growing so big. My family. I miss all of them so much.
Continue. Sosiel. Drop Kirimu. Take Sealer. Take Toad. Oh, disease. Nice. Someone on the road. Magical anomalies are common in the world of Galarian. So common that the use of the word anomaly itself is questionable. A regular city dweller will encounter a chaotic manifestation of supernatural power at least once during their lifetime. One might naturally assume that the strange sky, ghostly fire from the rift, the ground, and the rain of eyeballs, all that the world wound is known for, should find some perch in the mortal mind. But even the most worldly of travellers feel uneasy at its borders. Why? Perhaps instinctively they understand that this place is not merely a magical wasteland, but a wound, an ulcer through which the world itself bleeds into the abyss. The commander and his army walk up the high bank of the West Elan River, where it draws near the border of the world wound. The soldiers' feet halt unbidden. On the other bank rises a series of cliffs, too regular in shape to have been formed by wind or water. The sky hangs over their sharp edges and sickening bends, the shade of Mercury on the horizon, rising to dirty rust. As it arches above the soldier's head, it regains its familiar azure hue. Soldiers whisper and grumble. The commander feels eyes upon his back. Somewhere among them, wearing simple armour and unrecognised by anyone, the ruler of Mendev is standing and watching the new commander closely. The commander gives a signal to wait and climb to the highest point of the long bank. Then he intends to address the soldiers. Establishing a rapport with his troops is yet another battle that the leader must face. Through the subtle alchemy of words, one can win trust and raise morale, or lose faith and authority. Addressing the army on the border of the world wound, the commander seeks to establish himself as a military leader on this new battleground. His efforts prove fruitful. The soldiers listen dutifully, smiles appearing on their faces. Someone in the ranks jokes that the demons are growing tired of waiting for them. The army keeps moving. Lines of soldiers step wearily beneath the shroud of low black clouds, like the world wound as it has reached out a finger into the lands of Mendev. The gesture seems eerily harmless, but then the clouds come to life, shooting out howling tornadoes one after another. The tornadoes come from all sides, from ahead, behind, right above the soldiers' heads. The power of the elements on one side of their scales, the soldiers' faith and inspiration on the other. Plain to see which is greater. The determined army runs the gauntlet of tornadoes. The struggle lasts over half an hour, but the army only loses a few bags of supplies, and a dozen hats whipped up into the sky. After stopping to catch their breath, the soldiers continue on. Their first encounter with the world wound has ended in their favour. Good, boys and girls, well done. That's fine. Five. Right, in we go. In we go, my friends.
Everyone is mortal in this world, especially when I'm around.
I will help where I can.
Move out!
We're here, finally. Ellen and Curl must be around here somewhere. And Jana too, if they gave her permission to leave. Ah, there they are. And Jana. Greetings, Sealer, says Ellen. Greetings to you, Knight Commander. So Ellen puts his hands behind his back and bows slightly. Then he casts an inquisitive glance at you. He seems less friendly than he was the day you met him at the Defender's Heart. Jana puts her hands on her hips. She looks even more dashing than usual. Ellen is feeling a little shy. He thought he asked help from a couple of nobodies like us, but now that you've turned into the saviors of Canabres, Knights of the Fifth Crusade marked by Amadeus' blessing, you still came to help him dig through a pile of junk. Let's not talk about it, Cecilia. I assure you, I'm the same Sealer, your friend from the League of the Cart. We came here to help you look for Elan's ring. By the way, where's Curl? Didn't come with us. He said an old wound was acting up. Alright, my friends. Since we're here, let's finish this mission quickly. I really don't feel comfortable bothering the Knight's commander. My personal problems. Something wrong, Ellen? Am I making you nervous? The young knight is obviously embarrassed. I apologise, Jana is right. Much has changed since we met in Canabres. Some things for the better, some not at all. He stopped short, appearing unwilling to elaborate. What does the ring look like? The last time I saw the ring, it was with my things in the travelling chest. Now the camp's in total disarray. I don't know how we'll ever find it. The ring is made from a shiny silver metal with a deep blue-green jewel. You can't miss it. Master Darek is not only a jeweller, he's an artist. There's no mistaking one of his creations. Alright, let's go. Jan and I will look around the northern side. We'll see you when we find something, or when we give up trying.
Head on!
A little meat.
Do not hit that.
This will be quick.
I lead. You follow.
Success.
Good.
Onwards!
Mobility, 20.
Over there!
And we have a shield. And some healing. Looks like that's all there is here. What is this shield? Divine Protector. +2 mithril heavy shield grants its wielder defense rating 5 against magic. Oh, damage reduction, rather. Okay. You know what? I will take that. It's fine.
Move out!
It's different with a burnt smell. Burnt? Ah. In that case,
Should I?
I think not you. Toad, where are you?
Together we stand.
I think we're going to need some of this on us, Toady. And let's see what we get here. Rimarax!
Head on!
Fence has been cut open from the inside. The knights apparently left it in a hurry. Ground is trampled and there are signs of a battle everywhere.
I lead. You follow.
A metal shard ring. Right.
Onwards.
Quasset! Little imp. Small Quasset demon emerges from the chest. Looks at you angrily, screwing up its ugly little face. It is holding a shiny object in its paws. A sparkling silver ring with a large green jewel. It's mine, mine. Alan, look at the creepy thing. What's it holding? Seen one of those before. These small demons like to tease and bully, but it'll bolt if it senses any real threat. Let's surround it, and all attack together. Before it can figure out what's happening. Well, you two are no good. Fine. The Quasset throws its paws in the air and splashes you with beams of colour. Not me. You hear insolent giggling. The demon is jumping up and down, throwing the ring into the air and chasing it. Mine, mine! Ellen, Janna. Sosiel glances at her friends, then turns to you. They're all right. They'll come round soon. Quickly. So Yorkie, let's catch the little rascal before it runs off.
Move out.
And so it's here. What is about to happen? Why can we not grab it? Cool! He grabbed the ring, did he? Before Ellen managed to get to the Quasset, the halfling Curl appears right next to it. Right out of nowhere, he snatches the ring from the demon's paws, so you mustn't get it. Curl, what are you... He's vanishing. Sosiel thrust it... Where? Thrusting yourself between Ellen and Curl. Sosiel barely manages to absorb the blow aimed at the halfling. Ellen, stop! Gone mad? He's using a summon spell. Why did you stop?
A test of my abilities.
Well, that's an unfortunate situation. And Janna's doing her on. So courageous.
The light take you.
A terrible mistake.
Well, Black Agnes is down.
Forgive me for this failure.
That was a mistake.
Don't hold back.
There's another down.
Good guys always win.
Go on. Go on.
Into the fray.
Another down.
Strike.
Run them through.
I got this.
Come.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
You should have run.
Out of my way!
Well, he's down.
Damn you!
Go.
No glory without risk.
That leaves just one. Helen, what were you doing? You nearly cut down Curl without a second thought, without a trial, without even knowing who was responsible. It seemed rather obvious, Sealer. He might be a victim himself, I suppose. When doing your loaders into a trap, Curl was the only one who knew where we were going. He knew we thought there wouldn't be anyone at the camp besides small harmless demons, so he set a trap. I wouldn't be surprised if his demon masters had him targeting the commander from the start. Talk about believing in the redemption of scoundrels, Elan scoffs. We barely knew anything about what happened. Curl is a good lad. He's not a spy or a murderer. Maybe they threatened him, tricked him, or even bewitched him with demon magic. And now we'll never know because you let him escape. Better to let a thief escape than cut down an innocent. You two need to calm down. You're both right in your own way, and anyway, what's done can't be undone. We're lucky no one died in today's brawl. But who knows where Sealer's naivete may one day lead. Do you hear me, sister? You're not just another knight. Whatever you do may have terrible consequences. You clearly have something to say. Go ahead, then spit it out. Sealer, I didn't want to say this, but I think of you as my friend. So I'm going to warn you. After what happened at the Great Garrison, you're in serious danger. And maybe not just you. You might like to ignore military hierarchy and the rules of knightly orders, but there's wisdom in them. It has stood the test of time. A soldier rises from a private to an officer. A knight begins as a squire. Even Armaday's paladins gain their abilities gradually. But not with you when you're commander. You were granted incredible powers, far surpassing seasoned paladins, with experience and skill far beyond your years. You received this gift at just the right moment. Saved a lot of lives across Mendev. That's a great deed that will be remembered for ages to come. What happened next was wrong. They began to worship you. The Queen gave you such vast power. All while you sidestepped everything. Training, experience, hardship. This is not the first time Her Majesty has behaved rashly. And how much good has this brought Mendev? I'm frightened by what I see. Especially by the way you, Sealer, trust people so easily. And leap into adventures without looking. One day you'll lower your sword when you should have driven the blade home. Just like thousands of bright-eyed youngsters will after you. Helen pauses, as if reluctant to continue. Then looks you in the eye. I wanted to tell you the same thing, Commander. So if I understand you correctly, I'm an incompetent leader who never earned my position? Helen looks right at you with his clear blue eyes. Bear me no grudge, Commander. I'm not so ungrateful as to forget what you did for Canabres, and how you agreed to help me. I said it to Seal and I'll say it again. This wasn't a reproach, but a warning. The power you've been given may be your undoing. And the undoing of all the Crusaders along with you. In any case, forgive me for wasting your time and subjecting you to danger here. Now at least we know that Curl is a traitor. No, we don't. I mean, it seems likely, but we don't know for sure, as Sealer mentioned. And Janet is a coward. Well, yes, that's a given. Ready to abandon her friends when the going gets rough. I hope we'll all learn a lesson from these mistakes. As for that blasted ring, to hell with it. Kiana won't love me solely for the gifts I bring her. Ellen makes no attempt to cover up his disappointment. Nodding goodbye, he lowers his head and walks away. Sealer watches as he leaves. Her expressive eyes are filled with a sadness. Everything's become very complicated all of a sudden. Please, Sir Yorkie, let's go back. And I'd like to talk to you about it later. I have a lot to think about. Fair enough. We shall return to camp. Momentarily, at least. Have a rest up. Then head out. Quick chat with Sealer, a quick rest, and then we'll head out. Sealer looks sad and pensive. It's good to see you. Get this. Jana, the one who ran away while we were attacking the demons, never went back to her unit. She was seen running towards Numeria, like she deserted. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about, or even the only thing. Since our raid on the Hound Hearts camp, I've had a sinking feeling that I made a mistake dragging you into this. I mean, should have known that a raid along the edge of the world wouldn't be so easy. But mostly I was wrong about a lot of people. About Jana, lost a nerve and abandoned her friends. About Curl, I knew he was a thief, but I really thought he turned over a new leaf and deserved a little compassion and trust. And Elan, I thought we were kindred spirits, friends through thick and thin. But it looks like I was wrong about him too. Sealer looks at you closely, waiting for an answer. Your ideals were mistaken from the start. Maybe now you'll see that people are weak and vicious creatures. It's pointless to try and reform them. They're only fit to be controlled. You are an amazing person, Tsuyoki. I feel a certain fortitude in you, a strength of will, even when you say something I could never agree with. Thanks for listening to my grumbling and for helping me get to the bottom of this. I'm not going to leave things as they stand. If I get a chance, I'll track down Jana and see if I can talk some sense into her and find out why Curl did what he did. Can't stop thinking about what Elan told me in the end. I really have become more powerful than paladins, who are far more experienced and selfless than me. There's something not right about it. A servant of Eomade should gain their powers through dedicated personal effort. It's the only way to make sure they'll use the power for good. Our journey so far, it's all wrong. And it means I need to be 3 times as hard on myself now. Right, a quick sleep.
All this waiting bores me.
And there are just 2 quick things I want to do before we leave. Well, probably quick.
So many years wasted. So many good people perished. And there's still no end to this war.
Praise the goddess, we'll end it. Once and for all.
The commander becomes host to an anomalous force, and his dreams are filled with strange visions. He feels the space around him distort, and his sensory organs are flooded by false images, read by distortions of light and air. Reality itself tries to expel the commander into some dark tunnel. At the other end, a grim figure awaits. The body resists this crude attempt to wrench it from reality. The unknown force finds a tangle in the commander's soul, one made of demonic rage and destructive desire. The stranger grabs at it and pulls, like a hunter reeling in a harpoon. Troubled by the sudden intrusion, the dark and ominous force deep in the commander's soul answers with a menacing growl. The commander stares intently at the ghostly figure. Darkness conceals the stranger's presence. Tries to understand what's going on. He needs a moment to figure this out. The commander is being summoned, transported through space and time by a magical force. However, the attempt did not succeed because the commander is not a spirit or a demon, but a more mortal human. The commander is surprised this spell worked on him at all. You want to see demonic? Unleashes a dark and unbridled part. With a triumphant and savage howl, it breaks free and fills the commander's thoughts and senses. Its rage, like a burning spear, strikes along the dark tunnels of the one who dared trouble the commander. A heartrending scream filled with pain and animal fear strikes your ears. A moment passes and the attraction fades. The enemy has withdrawn back into the shadows. The apparition recedes, leaving the commander wondering whether it was reality or nightmare. Whatever it was, it's now gone. Sosiel, you can go. Bring you back. Now this one needs a little bit of a hike. This is what happens when you walk into one of the demon armies with your commander.
I see blood! Blood!
It is
Go.
a random event. A random occurrence.
Go.
Random combat, I should say. So they are done. 15-12. Remaining experience. Now, in the meantime, you see it is still there, and I could pass. In the meantime, if we attack with an army, they will, of course. Take them down. And with that, the army is driven away. Having defeated a band of cultists who had driven the captives from Canabres and made ruins as well as gift their temporary home, the commander's army celebrates its first triumph. Fortunately, the demon worshippers have killed all the citizens and gathered their belongings to a huge pile in the middle of the camp. And so that's showing you there that you can gather some experience from a random encounter with your commander, then have the army drive them away. Thank you for joining me. If you wish to help the channel grow, hit the like, comment and subscribe, and I shall be back next time. Next time maybe a stream. Tonight was unable, because our local internet seems to be extremely laggy. I apologise for that. See you around.